Okay, let's start at the beginning. And I am going to talk to the camera while I pass people, because I've tried to do this introduction several times and I keep stopping because I keep walking past people, but with the deepest of respect to them, fuck them. I need to get this down now while it's fresh. So, a couple of months back, I came across a local artist called April Maey, and really liked her music. It's sort of hip-hoppy rap kind of stuff. Really liked this. I sent her a message saying, really like your stuff. If you ever need a guitar player, I'd be happy to audition, you know. And she messaged back and was really cool, and we tried several times to meet up, but life got in the way and that, so that never happened. But a few weeks ago she messaged and said, can you play a gig during the Hints of Fisting? So the Hints of Fisting, the Ghent Festival, is a big outdoor festival that happens every year in Ghent. Apparently it's the biggest street festival in Europe, I've been told. Can you play a gig during that? I'm like, yeah, sure. Where is it? Because there's loads of stages up around the city. So she said at the Treffpunt stage, and I know there's a few little stages around that area, but there was a massive stage. And I was like, what, the big one? And she's like, yeah, the big one. So we played on the big one. But what I wanted to say about it was that I'm editing back these videos and I'm noticing that I have a very fixed idea on what I think that it is that I want and what that means in terms of what I think success is for myself. And when I was journaling this morning, because I journal now, I was writing down all of the things that today's gig was. And when I read it back, I realised that's all the things that I want from playing music and having a career in music. But I've been so fixed on specifically it being my music, my name being on the ticket, so to speak, on the flyer, or at least my band or a band that I'm in or anything, that I've been so gripping onto that so tightly that I didn't fathom the possibility that there are other routes to that same thing. Because today's setup was a DJ and myself, and obviously April herself, but like in terms of musicians on stage, there was 4 dancers, which was pretty cool. And it was particularly special for me because I lived, so it's in St. Jacobs in Ghent, and St. Jacobs is a church. And I lived on one side of the church, and the stage, which is there every year, is on the other side of the church. And we lived in that apartment for 3 years. So every year for 3 years, I'd see them setting up this big, massive stage and be like, I would love to play on that. And I did. Today I did. And what's really cool, it was unexpected, it crept up on me. It's reinforced this concept that I need to stop squeezing so hard for this thing. I think it's still good and necessary and important to have goals and a bit of a direction, but not to grip on that so hard. Because you hear, we're a bit, it's all been romanticized. I've been too subconsciously wrapped up in trying to follow the paths of the people that inspired me, but it was a completely different time then to what it is now, in almost every sense. Musically, socially, entertainmentally. I've been so trying to stay on one path with music that I haven't been opening myself up to other possibilities. And today, opening myself up to another possibility meant that I ticked off something that I really, really, really wanted to do, and did. And also, a big part of it is because today's gig wasn't guitar-based music. I think that also tricked me. That's why it snuck up on me, because yeah, it's not you take the guitar away from most rock or blues things and the music significantly suffers. Today's gig, with the music that it is, you take the guitar away, the gig can still go on fine, the music's still grooving, everyone's having a good time. So the guitar was a bit of an extra thing on top of it, which it threw me with my perception of this gig, because seeing a big stage like that and having the dreams I have had about playing on a stage like that meant that if I was on a stage like that, it had to be very guitar orientated, i.e. my own project, or a project that is guitar based. And yet today was not that, but it still really fucking worked. I had some really nice feedback. Everyone seems to have a great fucking time, both on stage and off stage, in the audience. The guitar gave a nice live texture to it, because otherwise it's just a track being played over the speakers, which is still absolutely fine for that type of music and stuff. But yeah, the guitar gave it a live aspect, because it was.
Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, really cool. That's what I was going to say. Part of that romanticism is the phrase of, oh, they stuck to their guns, and they made no compromises, that they knew that's what they wanted to do, so they dug their heels in and wouldn't let anyone else tell them any different. And I've been telling that to myself, that that's what I have to be, and that's what I have to do to get to the places that I think I want to get to. And today was kind of evidence that perhaps that route of being so headstrong, and not headstrong, but you know, determined to only do one thing, is not going to work out for me. But not in a bad way, you know. Really what I'm waffling on about, and Christ knows if I've made any sort of coherent babbling to edit together to make it look like I'm half intelligent. I know that I need to let go and just let life happen to me and be okay with it happening. If you got this far, I really, really appreciate it. I would doubly appreciate it if you haven't liked or subscribed or any of that business. To do that, pop in the comments about what you think about letting life happen to you versus having a set plan and not deviating. Love you.